Let me turn down my Vikings. So, October, I think it's the 19th today. 20th, actually. The last two videos I filmed this morning, when I was going on and on about door knocking, and I had gotten a lead from my partner. Basically, they've been tracking a gentleman that owns a house in the south side of my town, kind of on the better side, and he, for whatever reason, he was an entrepreneur himself. Actually, he owned a bunch of businesses, and his partner did a bunch of shady bookkeeping, so they had put in a $2 million lien on the property. And my partner gave me the lead and was like, well, he works here, so could you go over there and talk to him? And so I'm like, yeah, sure. So it's right around the corner from my house anyway. And I go there, and he wants to sell the house. So he just received an email today. He's all, that's pretty funny. I just received an email lifting the $2 million lien that was on my house. And you basically just came into my work and asked me if you wanted to buy my home. So this could not be a deal or not be a deal. I already have one of my guys that was working out in Chandler tonight go look at the property, and that's the south side of my town, the nicer area, and he's gonna go in the property, and he's gonna take pictures of it, and we're gonna evaluate it and see what we can actually pay for it. And he's totally in agreement with signing a contract, and getting the payoff of what he actually owes on the property. So what we think it is and what it could be are two different things, because he's owned it for a while but hasn't lived in it for about 3 years, because he's been dealing with a lot of just business stuff. So we don't know if it's a deal. We just have to look into it. So, but it's really that easy. So even if it's not a deal, I literally didn't even do that much work today because I was mostly on the camera. I was able to go knock on a door of somebody where they work, which I never really do. It's always the door of the house. But, I just wanted to go talk to him. And I just, ordered a soda. He asked if he had worked there and asked if I could speak with him. And he was totally cool. He gave me all of the information. I really, it was so much information that it took me, I had to take a step back and just be like, okay, well, let me look at the property first, and then let's go ahead and run the title report. So, what I just said there, it works he's just ready to see if he can get any money out of it. Okay, so that's why we get pictures tonight, okay, on a deal, and we get the title report done as soon as possible and the payoff as soon as possible to see if we can actually do a deal on this house that's been vacant for 3 years and unsellable. And it's been at the closing table numerous times, but because of this lien that has now been lifted from the email that he basically showed me on the day that I showed up and knocked on the door, it could be a potential deal. So again, it's really, you're going to build momentum as you knock doors and start to run into things like this, where you're just you knock on a door and something just comes together. Or somebody is in a certain situation and people have tried to get a hold of them, but for whatever reason they're hard to find. Again, we had to find this guy where he worked. His brother wouldn't give us his number, but we found his brother. And we found his sister, and they both wouldn't give up the phone number, but the brother was like, well, this is where he works, so just stop by and say hi. And and again, he was just the nicest guy ever, and he's tired of dealing with anything other than trying to rebuild his business that his partner fucked up. So he just wants to get rid of this house. He doesn't that's the motivation behind it. He's he doesn't even care. He is kind of a money person. He's an entrepreneur. He just knows what not to do next time. So again, he's restarting over from the 39 businesses that he had. And now he has one business and he's starting again. He's I'm going to do it again. He's got balls, dude. He's an entrepreneur, but he understands and he's a smart person. Like, he knows how to run a company. But as far as the house goes, like, it really is more of a bother to him than it is anything else. So if I gave him $500, he would sell it to me. So again, I got to see what the numbers are and what we can offer. I always try to give a fair amount if I can. But if he just wants, like, a little bit of money and this thing off his shoulders, again, that's how you find deals and get them done. But again, like, I literally was just filming today, and I wasn't even going to go knock a door. And my partner's like, go ahead and stop by the sandwich shop by your house and go meet with this guy. So again, it just turned into a great conversation, and I got his cell phone number. I got permission for him to actually go into the home. So I send out my guy that's already out in the area to take pictures. We look at the pictures, we evaluate the numbers, and then we get back with him, and we just ask for certain information, like the loan information. Does he know which bank it is and his loan number? That helps speed up the process for the title company. And then you run the title report. Really investor friendly title companies that are great. They work relatively quickly, but if a real good one will communicate really well. Some deals can take forever. Some deals can be done in 2 weeks. So you just jump on stuff right when you get it. Again, and that was a door knock. So a door knock, and then I got a buddy already over there taking pictures of the property. We evaluate it tonight. I'll know by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, like, what I could potentially do with the property. But the guy's ready to sign a contract. Like, he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, people have come to him, but they haven't been able to close because of this lien. And because I knocked the door, and I got lucky, and you do get lucky the more you work, really, deals, like, actually start to come to me now. Before, I really had to work hard. But, like, in the beginning, you don't really know what you're saying. But that's okay. But just work with people that can help you. And that's essentially what you need. You need knowledge. Okay. So again, I'm knowledgeable. I know what to say to this guy. You know what I mean? I have the balls to walk into a place of business and ask if the employee is there and if he's interested in selling his home, which is what I did today. After doing 2 videos, going on rants and raves about the differences between wholesaling and being a realtor and all that other kind of shit. But the bottom line is like, even if you can hit like 2 doors a day, but you do it 5 days a week, like, you're going to get something. And that's the problem. That's why most people spend shit tons of money on education and they never actually do anything about it. So really, the gurus that have made all this money in real estate have really made all of this money by educating you. If you actually do it, because it actually works. It's just like college, like taking a course. But in this case, if you become an entrepreneur, you become somebody that flips houses, you can make thousands of dollars in your money back within like 2 deals or a deal. Like, you really can. So you can't do that in college, in regular college. You can't do shit like that. You're broke in college. Here, you might be broke for a while because you're reinvesting back into your business, but you can make a shit ton of money now. And again, it's just getting out there and doing it, and becoming what it takes to actually get a deal done. And that's sometimes knock on a business's door or knock on the door of the property. And that should be on a regular basis. If you have a list of phone numbers, obviously call them. People are home in the evenings. Pretty, that's common sense. Everybody knows that, right? Everybody's pretty much home between 7 and 9, 6 and 9 at night, but you can start at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I've knocked doors at 10 in the morning. So people are home. Some people aren't home during the day, so we got to go at night. Weekends are great. Sunday nights, perfect. 4 to 8 o'clock, best shift in the world. Everybody's home. Absolutely. Go knock those doors. Last Sunday, we knocked 6 doors, 5 of them answered. One of them was a potential deal, and the other one, like, we're actually still working on. So, there were 2 others that were just kind of like, they answered the door, but there wasn't any, they'd either paid up, which we'll still monitor, but again, my point is that we're making contact. and we're making it very quickly. So you can, do the marketing thing, but what I recommend for a first timer is to get out there and knock on some fucking doors. Like, just really do it. Like, I don't care who you are, how old you are, what sex you are, what race you are. I don't care if you're, 60 years old. Getting out of your car and knocking on a door is not that hard, even in the hot Arizona heat. If you have air conditioning in your car, you're just getting out, you're knocking on the door, and you're just having a discussion of if somebody's gonna want to be able to sell their home, or at least can you get a phone number and then call them back and just follow up and see where they're at. Okay, so and then learn how to track that stuff, and and then just follow up until you can actually get a deal. So it's really that simple, and there's so much money out there. There's not enough investors. Even if there was enough investors, there's not enough motivated investors, because most investors are lazy. Most hustlers are lazy. Most wholesalers are lazy. Most fucking realtors are lazy. There's just a lot of lazy ass people out there. There's no competition in my mind at all. If somebody gets a deal, good for them. If they got there before me, good for them. I really don't care, because I know that there's another deal out there for me. I don't fight over deals. I've made shit tons of money on my own and with other people. I know that this can be done. And again, if you go out there and you act like you can actually just strike up a conversation with a homeowner, you can get deals too. Okay, so you want the like pretty version of the flowers and bees and all the really nice stuff that goes along with all of these gurus, or you can get out there and you can knock on doors. Okay, there's this big thing. Real estate leads to like massive success, and again, you can invest in other businesses and so on and so forth, and it can really make your life very much free. Because in America, you're not really free if you have to clock in and take orders from somebody. I mean, unless you have actual financial freedom, you don't really actually have freedom. I don't care if you live in America or not. So again, that's what I'm trying to achieve. That's what people in this industry are trying to achieve, and that's what we want to spread the word, is that there's a lot of people out there that simply need help, and they need to get to the next chapter, and there's all different ways that you can do deals, and there's so much money out there, and anybody tells you that they haven't gotten a deal is because they haven't done the work. And by the work, I mean is making contact. You need to make contact somehow. And proactive contact is basically old school stuff. It's either cold calling or knocking on the door. Okay? Unless you can sit there and message 1,000 people a day on Facebook, that emails, I mean, that's direct contact. But there's nothing like knocking on a door. I mean, somebody's going to answer the door at some point, and you're actually going to speak directly to them instead of waiting for a response from an email or a phone call or whatever. And again, that's what teaches you to be good at this job at a faster pace than you would if you would to do all the basic shit that the gurus tell you, which is yellow letters and bandit signs and social media and having a web page and doing all that kind of stuff. Like, all I need is a contract to make money. So you can do that too. And again, just remember that, the more doors you knock, the luckier you're going to get anyways, but you just have to consistently do it. So if you knocked a lot of doors for 4 days in a row, you can just sit there for an hour and hit 2 doors on a Friday. You know what I mean? And then, it's not a big deal. Again, just consistency pays off, even if you do work a job. Okay, so if you work a 9 to 5 right now or a 5 to 9, like, it doesn't matter. There's doors that can be knocked and work that always can be done. And if you come across the right person and situation, then you make money. Bottom line. So, proved my point. Again, today I was going on and on about, who I am and what I do. And I went out and I knocked on a door, and, I got a response. But it was a pretty assertive response into yes, just figure out what you need to figure out and where do I sign. So that worked, just by knocking on the door. So just remember, guys, that here at Ness Education, we're take no prisoners. I mean, we're the real like door dogs. Like, we will go to the door. We're like Vikings, like we're showing up on your land. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's how if you really want to get deals at like this point in your life, like if you bought some sort of mentorship and you haven't gotten anywhere with the mentors and you haven't gotten any deals, and whatever methods aren't working for you, door knocking is a method that will always work. Like it will never go out of style. You don't need a computer system for it. You don't need anything. All you need is addresses, and you need to knock on the door, and you need to start talking to people. That's how you start to become an entrepreneur. You just become a very social person. If you're introverted, that's fine. If you don't like people, that's fine. You need to look at it as a total business, and that I got to act and be a certain way when I'm at work. And then when you get home, you can hate everybody in the world, or go in your room and play video games and just kind of forget about it. But it doesn't matter who you are. You actually can go out there and make money. And all different types of people make money, and there's all different kinds of multimillionaires in the world that are introverted, that are shy, or they're not as like confident and as aggressive or as assertive as some people. There's all different kinds of personalities that can sell or can solve problems, and that's essentially what I do. I solve problems. Like, I'm not a salesman anymore, I'm a problem solver. So let me find out what the problem is and let me solve it, and hopefully everybody can make money and everybody can be happy, and those are the situations that I love to be in, because I'm essentially solving a problem as opposed to selling a product. Not that selling products, anything is wrong with that. Many people use products, just like I'm using this phone right now and this camera right now. It's a product that I use, so it has value, and what I have for what I know is value. I have value because I can get you out of a sticky situation that a guy that has a house in his name that doesn't want it in his name anymore, I can solve that problem. But again, I got to find and get in front of that person, and that's exactly what I did today. So October 20th, 2017, all I did was some camera work this morning, a lot of it, and then I went out and I hit and spoke to one person, and it could be a potential deal. So the door knocking works, absolutely. Again, we make money without money, and the way that we do that is we show up, and make contact. So the only thing that really matters is making contact, following up, and executing. Those three things are the most important things. I don't care how cool you think you are, what you drive, what you wear, how you do things. Unless you actually execute a deal, you're not really doing it. You're not becoming an entrepreneur. If you're working a 9 to 5 and you're doing it on the side and you're still not getting a deal and you're calling yourself an entrepreneur, stop. You're not a fucking entrepreneur, okay? Like, you got to make some deals happen, and then once you make those deals happen, and you feel comfortable enough in the bank, then you start your own business, and then you start working with other people to make a business. That's what an entrepreneur does. It builds a system. So again, really, this can be done on a very low level where you can work by yourself and you can make $20,000 a month, which is better than what you're doing right now, obviously. You wouldn't be, watching this video if that weren't the case, okay? Or you can build like a team of people and help them pay you. So again, I'm Nate Ness, and I will get back with you when I can. I got a call from my bird dog.